All right. Let's take a look at solving some multi-step equations now. And again, just like the other ones, we are going to see that if we follow kind of like a systematic approach to this, where we we do certain things first, it makes it a lot easier. And so just to quickly go over that, I'm going to boil it down a little simpler. So the first step basically is to clean up each side, right? Clean up each side. And so that involves taking care of things like parentheses, um, collecting like terms, stuff like that, right? Just get it cleaned up, and then when you finish, you should wind up with, you know, two terms, two or fewer terms on each side. All right, and if you have more, you're you did something incorrectly. Okay, and that's all right, but just fix it. And then the second thing is to get variables on one side, variables on one side, numbers on the other. All right, variables on one side, numbers on the other. And then the last thing is to solve for your variable. All right, solve for your variable. And that can be a variety of things, but most oftentimes it's going to be probably some kind of a division step. Um, so let's get started. So for this one right here, what you're going to do is you're going to hopefully recognize that, hey, this is distributive property I have to do here. I have to get rid of my parentheses. So let's do that. So we're gonna do 5 times x and do 5 times 3 first. So that's going to give us 5x plus 15. Next step, we are going to take positive 2 and multiply it by 1 and also by negative x. All right, so positive 2 times 1 is 2. Positive 2 times negative x is negative 2x, and that equals 14. All right, and now we still have way more than two terms over here, right? So we're going to collect like terms. So if you want, you could, you can look at it like, okay, well, we have variables here, right? And then we have numbers here. So let's take care of those. So let's do our variables. So we have 5 and negative 2, so that's going to give us 3x. I'll put that right here. So those get taken care of. And then 15 and 2 add up to 17, and that equals 14. And so now, variables on one side, numbers on the other, because this is cleaned up, so we can go on to our next step. And so we have a variable and a number over here, and we have a number here. So that should hopefully tell you, well, let's get the numbers together, right? So if we move 17 over, we're going to subtract it, because remember, it's all about opposites. And you get negative 3 is equal to 3x. And then to solve for your variable, in this one, you are going to divide by 3, because it is always, think of it always as doing the opposite operation, right? Opposite operation. So we're going to divide by 3. And so that is going to give me x is equal to negative 1. If I plug it in, we're going to have 5 times, well, negative 1 plus 3 is 2, plus 2 times 1 minus a negative 1, that double negative is going to turn into a plus, right? So it's going to be 1 plus 1, which is 2. All right, 2 times 2. And this will give you 10 and 4, and that is 14. So it works out. Okay, let's do this next one. So this next one, and at any moment, if you see a problem and you're like, wait, I want to do it by myself, then just, pause the video and do it, and then start it up again. All right, this next one, this side's good, but we gotta deal with this side, right? So we can put up our fence this time. I didn't over there, but it's always a good thing to do. So negative 3 times 2y. Remember, you got to include this negative. Is going to give me negative 6y, and then negative 3 times positive 1 is going to give me negative 3. Then we have 6y minus 5. And now we're going to have to move a couple things because we want variables on one side, numbers on the other. It doesn't matter which side you pick, they'll both give you the same result, right? So if I decide to do variables over here and numbers over there, it will give me the same result as if instead I do variables here and then numbers here. So I usually like to move the variables over to the side where they have more of the variable. And so I compare the numbers. I say, okay, well, this is -6, this is 6, which is larger? Well, 6 is larger. So I'm going to move this over by doing the opposite operation. All right, so I'm going to go plus 6y, because I'm paying attention to how do I get rid of it from this side, right? And that does that. And then this gives me 12y minus 5 is equal to, and then you're just left with -3. And then it becomes pretty straightforward. Add 5, right? You get 2 is equal to 12y. And then to solve for our variable, the opposite operation is going to be to divide by 12. And then you are going to get y is equal to 1/6. If we put this back in, you get 6 times 1/6 minus 5 should be equal to -3 times, or 2 times 1/6 plus 1. All right, so let's clean this up. So that's 1 minus 5 over here, because those cancel. And then 2 times 1/6 is 1/3, right? Because you get that, right? Plus 1. And then let's do distributive property. Rather than add this up, let's just do distributive property on that side. We'll simplify this over here, and then we get -1, because -3 times 1/3, your 3's cancel, and then -3 plus 1 is -3, and then look at that, -4 equals -4. All right, so this should give you a pretty good overview of what to expect when you're doing problems like this. So I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.